grab an elastic band at whatever resistance is good for you. I recommend starting at the lowest one to see where you're at, and make a knot or two so that when I show you how to put it in the door, it's not going to come and fling back in your face, which is super important. So it should be about that size. So put it up in the door with the knot on the other side. So when you pull it towards you, again, it's not going to come hitting you anywhere. And just do a double check before you start doing the movements. So the movements we're going to be doing are called D1, D2, D3, and D4. D stands for diagonal. So you're going to start with your left side, and you're going to be working down across your body and slowly recover back up. You don't want your shoulders to turn, you want your abs tight, and you don't want your pelvis to turn. All the movement is coming from squeezing that shoulder blade down and back and slightly turning out your arm. So when you slowly start to recover back, again, keep your core tight, but your hand and your palm of your hand will face away from you. Now when you squeeze your shoulder down and back, shoulder straight, pelvis is straight, the palm will turn so it's still facing forward. Slowly recover back again, shoulder straight, core tight, palm still facing forward. So I turned my arm towards me. Now I'm squeezing my shoulder blade down and back and rotating my arm out so the palm is still facing forward. That's important because you're working those whole arm muscles, shoulder girdle, stabilizing the collarbone, stabilizing the shoulder blade. It's a great exercise. And down and back, and don't stick your chest out. Do not arch excessively in your back. Keep your neutral position of your back, and you can do that by stabilizing your core. You stabilize your core as if someone's punching you in the stomach, and you're holding that pelvic floor as if you're trying to stop yourself from peeing for whatever reason. And control the movement back. So now we're going to work the same arm, but now rotate away. So you're going to start up and then now cross your body here. I want to just make sure that you can see my palm is turned down towards the floor. I'm trying to put it facing away from me. And I'm slowly controlling my arm back up. And now the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. Squeezing everything, core, keeping my shoulders straight. Palm is facing down towards the floor. And now squeezing the shoulder blade down as my arm is being pulled up and I'm reaching up. And palm is facing up towards the ceiling. And again, pelvis is straight, shoulders are straight, core is tight, elbows or hand is down towards the floor. And slowly allow that movement back up, palm up towards the ceiling. So here's a different angle. Pull nice, palm down towards the floor. And slowly allow that arm back up, palm towards the ceiling. This is about control. This is about reestablishing stabilization around your shoulder for your glenohumeral joint, your AC and SC joints of your collarbone, and your shoulder blade. So do it with purpose. Make sure you are doing it properly, and gradually increase the resistance after you do this week after week. With intent, make sure everything's nice and straight. Your arm is the only thing that's moving. Keep repeating these things in your head. If you need to do so, go in front of a mirror now. You're going to switch arms. So reach your right arm up and you're going to cross the body. So you're doing the same movement we did last, but on the opposite side. Again, think about what we have to do. Keep our shoulders straight, our pelvis straight, and our arm is moving in a very controlled manner. Bring the palm up towards the ceiling. Now slowly control it down, turning the palm now towards the floor to our opposite hip. Keep everything straight. Do not twist. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Slowly open back up. If you need a little bit more tension, you can step away from the door like I just showed you here. Cross your body, don't twist anything, keep your core tight, slight bend in your knees, palm down towards the floor. Slowly control the movement back. So at no point should your shoulder start creeping up towards your ear. Keep your shoulders pressed down and back like a soldier so that you're not overworking your upper trap muscle. It's about control here. Palm down towards the floor. Now slowly allow that palm to start working and twisting, opening up towards facing the ceiling. Again, nice slow cross, diagonal pattern, core tight, shoulders and hips straight. Your shoulders and hips should stay in the same line. Palm up towards the ceiling. Now finish up this diagonal movement. Palm rotating down towards the floor, reaching for the opposite hip. Now control that elastic back up towards the door. And we'll turn into the arm so that our arm is across our body. And let's get right into it. Use that shoulder blade to pull things open. See how my palm is facing forward. And now slowly control the band back up, but do not let your shoulder come excessively up towards your ear. Really focus on now pulling that shoulder blade down and back. Let your palm face forward. And now control the band back up as it crosses your body. The palm should start to turn inwards to you. Facing down. And open back up. Turn the palm forward. Keep a slight bend in your knee. Keep your core nice and tight. Your shoulders are in line with your hips the entire time. And you do not move your shoulders or hips the entire time. It is just your arm that is moving. So if you had a flashlight taped on to your sternum, that means the light is constantly pointing in one spot on the wall. It is not shifting or moving whatsoever. Really use that shoulder blade to do the movement. This entire video is about moving that shoulder blade and stabilizing that collarbone. Stabilizing around the pelvic, or the shoulder girdle rather, in general. The more you control, the more you feel every single muscle, the better these exercises are going to work for you. When we do things in a very slow and controlled manner like this, we are trying to stimulate the nervous system to the max, to wake up those muscles that we really haven't been using properly for a while. And once those are reestablished, then that's when we start adding heavier weights and more difficult exercises. Now we're going to face away. Your elbow is going to be right in line with your shoulder blade, and you're going to be doing that motion. So your wrist is going to be coming forward, and it's like your elbow is sitting on a countertop, and you're just moving your fist forward and slowly letting it come back. I add a little bit of speed here and slowly let it come back. But if you just need to take it slow the entire time, please do so. And I'm showing you this version here, nice and slow, and slowly coming back. Nice and slow, and slowly coming back. I'm just showing you a different option of what is possible. But it's recommended that you start with this pace initially. So you want to be conscious all the time. Is my elbow in line with my shoulder? Am I arching my back? Is my chest too up towards the ceiling? You see how I'm keeping my hand on my chest? I'm monitoring my muscles right underneath my collarbones, and I'm trying to feel them contracting as I'm moving my shoulder forward. If this is painful, please skip this exercise and we'll move on to the other one. Even though this exercise can be challenging, it's still important to strengthen your body in all ranges of motion, so that if your body does find itself in these ranges, you're strong in all different types of ranges to stabilize your shoulder girdle, so that it lessens your chance of getting injuries. You know, when you're all of a sudden throwing a ball out of nowhere and you're not really used to it, or you're out fishing and that awkward movement can cause an impact on your shoulder if your muscles aren't used to stabilizing your shoulder at that range. So we're just trying to be proactive as much as possible here. Keep your core nice and tight, shoulders right over your hips. Keep your elbow where it is, not moving. You're only moving right at your glenohumeral joint, which is your shoulder joint. That is what is rotating you forward, and you're controlling the resistance with the band. And we're going to slightly lean forward on an angle and work the pec muscle at a different angle. So pull towards you and slowly let it pull away. Now you should only be on a 40, not even a 45-degree angle here, maybe a 25 to 30-degree angle. My feet are spaced out a little bit past shoulder width. And I'm slightly bending my knees, keeping my core tight as I'm working my chest. Again, my body is not moving. It is my arm that is moving and controlling this movement. Nice steady space. If you need to go slower, that's a great thing about doing home workouts, is you can go at your own pace, pause the video whenever you need to, and take breaks. Now we'll do the other side. Again, slight bend. You can either sit on the chair if you want, or a ledge like I'm doing here, and pull right across and control the movement. Pull and control. Again, if that initial pull is too quick for you and you just can't quite get the movement yet, just take a step back and only do the movement nice and slow, and nice and slow, controlled back. So for every 2 that I do, you'll be doing 1. Now we're going to remove this elastic, so just take it out of the door here. And what we're going to do is just scoot it underneath the door. And this is what it's going to look like when the door is closed. And essentially, what you're doing is lifting it to the edge of the door, so when you close it, the knot is stuck right here. So don't just leave it under the door. The knot is usually not big enough. So try to sneak it that way. So we need to change the angle here. Now we're going from the bottom up. So that was D1 and D2. Now we're doing D3 and D4. Slowly control it back. So now we're just doing the same angles but opposite. So keep that shoulder blade down and now reach the arm up. Palm facing away from you. Core nice and tight. You're not moving anything but your arm. Slowly let the band come down. Your arm is traveling towards your opposite hip and now the palm is facing down towards the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blade down. Palm is turning out towards the wall in front of you. And control the arm down as it's traveling towards your opposite hip. Palm is now facing the floor. Your core is still tight. Your shoulders are not twisting. You have a slight bend in your knees. Shoulder down. Squeeze your shoulders together. Down towards your tailbone. And control the movement down as you travel towards your opposite hip compared to your arm. Palm is now facing the floor. Keep that shoulder blade down. Reach up towards the opposite corner. Palms facing forward. Gently down towards your opposite hip. So now I'll turn away to the opposite side. The palm of your hand is going to start by facing the wall across from you. And you're going to reach up and the palm will face down towards the floor. Slowly allow your arm to reach back out. Palm away from you. And now reach the palm, turn it so it's now facing the floor. So keep your shoulders in line with your hip. Keep your shoulder down. Do not let it come excessively up to your ear. Core tight. Reach your arm up. Palms starting to face down. Shoulders, do not twist your spine at all. Pull your shoulder blade down. Control the movement. Back out to the side. If you need more resistance, step away from the door. If you need less resistance, step towards the door. Core nice and tight. Do not twist the spine. Keep the shoulder down as much as you can. Shoulder blade down. Palm towards the floor. Control the movement as your palm starts to open up, preparing to face the wall you're staring at right now. And reach up. Finish the palm turning down. Shoulder blade down. Palm facing forward. Now reach right across you. So just simply grab the elastic band with the other arm and now pull up here. When you let it come down, traveling towards your opposite hip, the palm is facing down towards the floor, shoulders are square over hips. And now reach, squeeze that shoulder blade, move the arm with the shoulder blade. Keep the shoulder pressed down, palm facing the opposite wall. As the arm travels down to the opposite hip, the palm starts to face the floor, and you're keeping your core nice and tight with your shoulders and hips straight. Shoulder blade is doing the movement as you're coming back up, palm now facing the wall as it opened up. And control the movement coming down to your opposite hip as your palm begins to face the floor. Keep your core and pelvic floor nice and tight. Traveling up, shoulder blade doing the movement, keep it pressed down. Open right up, palm facing the opposite wall. Control the movement, keep the core nice and tight. Keep everything straight, slight bend in your knees. Palm facing down. Everything up. Palm facing the wall, shoulder blade is down, it's not in your ear. And control down to your opposite hip as your palm is facing towards the floor. and traveling up. Tight core, pelvic floor, palm down towards the floor. When you turn yourself around, you're still holding the band with the same hand. So you're crossing now up and over your body like we did the first exercise on this new diagonal with the elastic coming from the bottom of the door. Now when you're doing this, again, that shoulder blade is not hiking excessively towards the shoulder. Keep your shoulders and hips straight line, tight core, palm facing down. And now the palm faces towards you as you open up to your other hip. And then now the palm is beginning to face away from you. Keep a slight bend in the elbow. Pull up. And control down, pulling that shoulder blade back down towards your tailbone. The only thing that should be moving is your arm. Shoulders are nice and square to your hips. Your core is tight. Your palm is facing down. Now it's starting to rotate out and face the opposite wall. Again, it's about control. The better we get at this, the more resistance we'll be able to add. And overall, the more angles and ranges of motion our shoulder and collarbone and shoulder blade will be stabilized to really help to prevent any sort of injury of the shoulder in the future. We'll just finish up with the last exercise here. So you're going to be starting with your arm back. You can place your hand on your chest if you'd like to help monitor if you're keeping your chest straight. Your palm is going to be facing forward the entire time. You're using your pec muscle to bring up your arm. Keep a slight bend in your elbow. You can lunge a little bit here, so the leg that is forward is opposite to the arm you are using right now. So keep your shoulders right above your hips, tight core. Use your pec muscle to bring your arm up. Keep your shoulder blade pressing down. Do not let your shoulder come up towards your ear. My wrist is right in line with my shoulder. I know from this angle it may look like I'm lifting it a little bit higher, but I'm keeping my wrist in line with my shoulder. Let it extend back slightly and control the movement coming back. Now switch sides. Again, you can choose to place your hand on your hip or your chest to monitor. Control down. So same principles as we were using before. Control the arm coming forward. Use your pec muscles. Keep your shoulder blade pressing down. Palm always facing forward. Your palm does not change the direction that it's pointing here. Really monitor yourself. Are your shoulders above your hips? Are you stepping forward with the opposite leg compared to the arm you're moving? Is your core tight? Is your sternum tight? Is your back nice and stabilized? Is your shoulder blade pressing down? Are you keeping your wrist in line with your shoulder when you're lifting up? These are constantly things you will have to go through and monitor. You want quality, not quantity that isn't going to get you much. And control back. Awesome. So I want to thank you very much for trying out this video today. If you stick with it and do it 1 to 2 times a week and add that into your routine, or maybe even change it and substitute it for your shoulder and arm day today for a while, because if you've been having any type of shoulder issue or problem, then there's some sort of compensation or improper firing patterns that you have going on with your shoulder muscles, and this would be a great way to help deal with that. So if you'd like to see videos like this in the future, please subscribe to this channel, and if you have any requests of videos you would like to see from me in the future, leave that in the comments below. I get back to every single one of you.